Good morning, everyone. Let's begin with your doubts. Post your doubts, if any. This we do the last question that is left of AS-5. Please post your doubts. Let's begin with solving your doubts. Okay, since there are no doubts, let's go to question number 1. Come to page number 55. Page 55, question number 1. Come to page 55, question number 1. Right now, this standard will also explain to you why AS-5 is also known as disclosure AS. Right, so AS-5 is also known as a disclosure AS. Disclosure AS मतलब कोई भी चीज का disclosure कैसे करना है वो ये standard समझाता है. Which means if you look at the question and if you look at the solution, the answer remains the same. The answer remains the same, but the important point is that the method of disclosure changes. कैसे disclosure करना है वो ये standard समझाता है. Right, and a very good example of that is question number 1 on page number 55. Pay attention to the entire question. It says an extract from the P&L of the company is given below. Your sales is 3,000, opening stock is 500, production cost is 2,800, closing stock is 600. So your COGS comes to 2,700. Your expenses are 250, profit before tax come to 50, tax is 20, and profit after tax finally is 30 rupees. Right, looking at this P&L, let's try and understand the other information that is given to you. The closing stock includes, underline the word includes, मतलब क्लोजिंग स्टॉक में इंक्लूडेड है. कितना क्लोजिंग स्टॉक है हमारा? 600. 600 में इंक्लूडेड है stock damaged in a fire in 2011-12. On 31st March, the estimated net realizable value of the stock was 15,000. वो ऐसा बोल रहे हैं कि हमारे पास ये जो क्लोजिंग स्टॉक है, ये क्लोजिंग स्टॉक के 600 के अंदर इंक्लूडेड है कितना? 15,000. 15,000 included a net realizable value of damaged stock. आगे देखो क्या हुआ. The revised estimate of the net realizable value of the damaged stock included in the closing stock is now how much? 5,000. Okay, let me explain the entire question to you. वो ऐसा बोल रहे हैं आपके पास एक प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट दिया हुआ है. ये प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस के अकाउंट के अंदर आपके पास 600 lakhs का क्लोजिंग स्टॉक है. सॉरी 600,000 का 600,000 का क्लोजिंग स्टॉक है. इस 600 के अंदर एक एनआरवी है ऑफ डैमेज स्टॉक. उसका ओपनिंग वैल्यू कितना है 15,000 और क्लोजिंग वैल्यू कितना है 5,000, विच मीन्स डैमेज स्टॉक का एनआरवी रिड्यूस हो गया। आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग? क्या हो गया? डैमेज स्टॉक का एनआरवी रिड्यूस हो गया। डैमेज स्टॉक जिसके सामने पहले 15,000 रुपए मिलने वाले थे, अब उसी डैमेज स्टॉक के सामने सिर्फ 5,000 रुपए मिलने वाले हैं, विच मीन्स मेरे ओपनिंग स्टॉक में जो भी डैमेज गुड्स है उसमें से आई शुड माइनस 15,000, और मेरा जो क्लोजिंग स्टॉक है उसमें से आई मस्ट माइनस 5,000, राइट? देन आई विल बी एबल टू डिराइव दैट 10,000 का लॉस दैट इज देयर। ओके, करना क्या है? रीराइट द स्टेटमेंट ऑफ P&L if it complies with the requirements of AS-5. Okay, before I write off the P&L, I want to explain to you one important thing. Look at the question and you tell me, why was the stock damaged earlier? Please look at the question and tell me, why was the stock damaged earlier? किस वजह से हमारा stock damage हुआ था? Look at the question carefully and tell me, why was the stock damaged earlier? Due to fire? Okay, very good. It is due to fire. Now, my second question to you is, if so, if there is loss due to fire, just in case there is loss due to fire, what kind of activity is it? Ordinary activity, ordinary but exceptional activity, or extraordinary activity? If it is a loss by fire, what kind of activity is it? If it is loss by fire, what kind of activity is it? Okay, everyone agrees extraordinary activity. Right, now understand. Understand one thing. There is loss by fire, which is an extraordinary activity. Now, in that very loss of fire, we had damaged stock whose value we recorded at 15,000. Due to fire, we had a loss, which we consider it as an extraordinary item, and in that loss, we decided the value to be 15,000 of the damaged stock. Now the value of that damaged stock has changed to 5,000. Now remember, we studied this yesterday. Whenever there is a change in any such thing, we will use the same classification as was used earlier. Now, since earlier it was loss due to fire, we have used the classification extraordinary item. So, when now the value is reducing from 15,000 to 10,000, we will continue using the same classification, which is extraordinary item. So, my loss of 10,000, I will continue treating it as an extraordinary item. Though it is a change in accounting estimate, I agree it is a change in accounting estimate, but over here we are supposed to use the same classification that we have used earlier. Because we are supposed to use the same classification, we will treat it as an extraordinary item. Are you understanding? Okay, let's look at the first paragraphs and then I'll teach you how to prepare a new P&L based on AS-5. It says the fall in estimated NRV of damaged stock is rupees 10,000 is the effect of change in accounting estimate. As per para 25 of the standard, the effect of change in accounting estimate should be classified using the same classification in the statement of P&L as was used previously. The difference between the cost of the stock and its NRV after fire was presumably classified as on fire. The loss on fire is an extraordinary item. Since para 25 does not permit change in classification, important underline, the fall in NRV of damaged stock, rupees 10,000, should be classified as extraordinary item in 2011-12 as well. Para 8 of the standard requires extraordinary item to be disclosed in such a manner so that their impact on the current profit and loss can be easily perceived. To comply with these requirements, the enterprise should present the profit and loss before and after extraordinary items. Right, so this we've already discussed that it will be treated using the same classification as we have used earlier. Now the classification that we have used is extraordinary item. So this fall in value by rupees 10,000 will also be treated as an extraordinary item. Okay, let's see how do you record the new profit and loss account. Now first pay attention. What is your sales in the question? 3,000. So sales will remain as it is. Your opening stock will change. Opening stock. Now I want without damage stock. So that will be 500 minus 15. You get how much? 485. So I'm writing over here 485. Right? Please pay attention to what am I doing. Your opening stock will change to 485. Your production cost will remain the same, that is 2800. Your closing stock will again change, 600 minus 5. You are now left out with 595. Are you understanding? Okay, let's solve it. 3000 minus, you will use, sorry, 3000 plus 500. Wait, let me solve this. Let me solve it this way. You have on one hand, opening stock is how much? 500. Add to that, your production cost is how much? 2800. You get how much? 3300. From 3300, you will deduct the closing stock. So you're left out with 2700. Your cost of goods sold comes to how much? 2700. What is your cost of goods sold? Opening plus production or purchase, deduct closing stock. So it comes to how much? 2700. Now in our new question, see what happens. Now please understand. Okay, let me also calculate the gross profit for you. Your sales is 3000 minus 2700. What's your gross profit? Your gross profit will come to 300. Right, this is as per the old calculation. Now pay attention to the new calculation so that we can compare the old and the new. What's your sales? It remains 3000. What's your purchase? What's your production? What's your opening stock? 485. Add production cost will remain the same, 2800. You get how much? 3285. So you will get 3285. From that we'll deduct 595. How much do you get? Cost of goods sold 2690. Are you understanding? You get cost of goods sold to be 2690. Now your sales is 3000. Deduct cost of goods sold 2690. You're left out with how much? 310. नाउ प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, हमने ऊपर 10,000 रुपए ऑटोमेटिकली माइनस कर दिया था. कैसे माइनस किया था? ओपनिंग स्टॉक में हमने 15,000 इंक्लूड किया था, क्लोजिंग स्टॉक में हमने 5,000 इंक्लूड किया था. 10,000 ऑटोमेटिकली जीपी से माइनस हो चुका था इन दी ओरिजिनल क्वेश्चन. However, I want to clearly explain to you that loss by fire does not form part of GP. Gross loss by fire becomes a part of the profit and loss account. Means should be a part of the net profit. Which means हमने गलत चीज को ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट में डिडक्ट कर दिया था. ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट में वो डिडक्ट नहीं होना चाहिए. विच मीन्स अगर वो ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट में डिडक्ट नहीं होना चाहिए तो उनके प्रॉफिट में और हमारे प्रॉफिट में 10,000 का डिफरेंस होना चाहिए. वही आ रहा है. उनका प्रॉफिट ओरिजिनल आ रहा है 300, हमारा प्रॉफिट आ रहा है 310. सो आवर प्रॉफिट वी हैव इंक्रीज बाय 10,000. why did we increase our profit by 10,000? Because we wrongly deducted an expense at the trading account. Loss by fire cannot be deducted at trading account, but we deducted at trading account. So now what we will do is we will add back. When you add back, your profit will increase. So your profit increases from 300 to 310. Are you understanding? Okay. After that, from 310, Let's deduct our expenses of 250. Right, you will be left with 60. After you deduct 60, then you have loss by fire. So now you are separately disclosing loss by fire. How much is your loss by fire? 10. You're left out with 50 now, which means कि ऊपर के क्वेश्चन में देख के पता ही नहीं चलता कि लॉस बाय फायर कितना है और कहाँ पे, जबकि हम जो सोल्यूशन कर रहे हैं उसमें हमने क्लियरली लिखा है 310 minus 250 you get 60. 60 minus 10 is how much loss by fire. Now what this will do is this will properly disclose the loss by fire in the profit and loss account. Why? So that the user understands कि इस साल इनको 10,000 रुपए का लॉस हुआ है फायर की वजह से, ये नॉन रिकरिंग एक्सपेंसेस है, ये एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी आइटम है, इस बार इनको लॉस हुआ है, हर बार इनको लॉस नहीं होने वाला, क्योंकि हर बार इनको लॉस नहीं होने वाला, मुझे 10,000 सिर्फ इस साल देखना चाहिए, आने वाले साल के लिए माय प्रॉफिट विल बी हायर बाय 10,000. दैट मींस नेक्स्ट ईयर आई कैन एंटिसिपेट अ प्रॉफिट ऑफ 60. This time the profit is 50. Why? Because there is a loss of 10 because of fire. But next year, since this is a non-recurring loss, we will again not be having the same loss every year. That is why next year my profit will be higher by 10. Right? So your separate disclosure helps the user to understand this. So that is why disclosing it separately is very important. Fine. So after profit before tax of 50, we will deduct tax of 10. So, sorry, tax of 20. So finally, you're left out with net profit of 30. Right. Now look at the original question. Can you look at the original question and tell me what is your profit after tax? Look at the original question and tell me what is your profit after tax. Look at the original question and tell me what's your profit after tax. क्वेश्चन देख के बताइए प्रॉफिट आफ्टर टैक्स कितना आ रहा है आपका? 30. ओके, अब मुझे ये बताओ कि इन द सोल्यूशन दैट वी डिड हाउ मच इज योर प्रॉफिट इन द सोल्यूशन? In the solution your profit is again 30, which means your answer remains the same. Right? Please understand, your answer remains the same, but the method of disclosure changes. Now, when the answer remains the same, but the method of disclosure changes, we call it that this is a disclosure yes. This standard is teaching you how to better disclose items in the financial statements. Right? Are you understanding? Absolutely simple question. It is all you have to understand is कि ओरिजिनल कॉस्ट में से पुराना वैल्यू निकाल देना है और क्लोजिंग स्टॉक में से नया वैल्यू निकाल देना है. ऑटोमेटिकली द डिफरेंस ऑफ 10 will be adjusted. Then you deduct that when you calculate the net profit. So when you calculate the net profit, you separately deduct loss by fire of 10. When you deduct that, you separately disclose an extraordinary item, and because you separately disclose an extraordinary item, the user of financial statements clearly understands that okay, this is a loss from extraordinary item, this is a non-recurring item, it has taken place today, but it will not be recurring every year. Are you understanding? Hope question number 1 is clear to you. Right? Please look at the solution and tell me, is question number 1 absolutely clear to you? Is question number 1 absolutely clear to you? Okay, so I have one doubt, which is in the new method, where will you record stock of 5,000? So you will not record stock of 5,000. Please understand, you have already recorded. Okay, I'll give you a better example. You can do two things. One, you can include in stock, right? So Ishika, please pay attention. What you can do is you can either include in stock. So say for example, my damaged stock is 100. Say for example, my damaged stock is 100, so I can include it. From, suppose the value of damaged stock now reduces to 50. What I can do instead of including is also that from the total value of my stock, from the total value of my stock, I can deduct only the loss part. So the remaining part remains in the stock. Right? Please understand. Rather than adding the stock, let me take the full stock. From the full stock, only deduct the loss portion. If you only deduct the loss portion, what that will do is it will reduce the value of stock. That is what we did. हमने स्टॉक को निकाल नहीं दिया, पर हमने स्टॉक की वैल्यू रिड्यूस कर दी. राइट, ओपनिंग से 15 निकाला, लेकिन क्लोजिंग से सिर्फ 5,000 निकाला. अंडरस्टैंड दैट. सो क्लोजिंग में जो 15 इंक्लूडेड था, उसमें से हमने कितना निकाला? सिर्फ 5,000 निकाला. You understanding? So the value remains, so it remains in the question. And when you see the difference, 15 minus 10, sorry, 15 minus 5, 10 is directly debited to the profit and loss account in the form of loss due to reduction in value of stock. Are you understanding? So if you arithmetically understand, it is automatically adjusted within the values inside. Right? Please check that carefully. If you do not understand, please ask me. Right, for the remaining, I hope question number 1 is clear. Come to page 63. Come to page 63. Let's quickly revise the entire accounting standard 5 and then we shift to AS-18. I have already shared the study material for AS-18 to you. Summary of key points. What is prior period item? So, if there is a error or omission in one or more past years, if there is error or omission in one or more past years, but you detect in the current year, then you record in the current year, in the year in which you detected. Such items are known as prior period items. So prior period items should result out of either error or omission, right? When are they recorded? They are recorded in the year in which they are detected. Okay, the next one is change in accounting policy. What is accounting policy? Specific accounting principle and the method of applying those principles, right? So specific accounting principle or method of applying those principles is accounting policy. Can you change an accounting policy? Yes, we can of course change an accounting policy. The accounting policy can be changed if any one of the three conditions are satisfied. First, requirement of a statute, requirement of a AS, and requirement of an accounting standard, and for better presentation of financial statements. Then you have, then you have what is a change in accounting estimate. In accounts, a lot of items cannot be decided with precision, but can only be estimated. These are known as accounting estimates. And a change in accounting estimate should always be given prospectively. Then you have net profit or loss for the period that we divide into three parts. One is ordinary activities. These are activities undertaken by the business in the ordinary course of business. They are recurring activities. Ordinary but exceptional. These are activities which are from ordinary activities only, but they are of such size or nature that their separate disclosure becomes important. For example, selling goods below cost. Then you have extraordinary items. These are items which are other than the ordinary activities of the business. They are not expected to reoccur frequently. They are non-recurring items. Again, extraordinary items should be disclosed separately so that the user understands their impact on the profit and loss account. Also, if whenever there is any change in accounting estimate, you will use the same classification as you used earlier. So if at the original place, if at the original place, if you have used the classification of an extraordinary item, and if there is any change in the future, you will continue using the same classification, which is extraordinary item. Are you understanding? Fine, that brings you to the end of accounting standard 5. I still have one doubt which says the actual it's the actual value on that date. Now understand, I agree it's the actual value on that date, but please understand it is already included in the closing stock, which is getting carried forward in the it is included in the opening stock, which is getting carried forward in the closing stock. So that 5,000 is already included in the value of your stock. If it was not included in the value of stock, your profit after tax would not be the same as it is, that is 30. सो प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, आपने ओपनिंग स्टॉक में इंक्लूड किया, क्लोजिंग स्टॉक से उतना वैल्यू माइनस कर दिया, तो 15 आपने इंक्लूड किया, उसमें से 5 माइनस कर तो 10 ऑटोमेटिकली पीएनएल में चले गया. So you have to calculate the value in that manner. Only then you will get the profit to be the same. Are you understanding? It's already included in that value. Right? Just have a look at it once again. If you have doubt, please come back to me. Don't remain with that doubt. If you still do not understand, please ask me. I will again solve it for you. Fine, that brings you to the end of accounting standard 5. One more accounting standard that we have done. Now I have spoken to Sanket sir yesterday and he was insisting to me that I should take the test on weekend. So I am postponing the test that you had tomorrow now on Saturday. So you will now have the test on Saturday. Since the test is shifted to Saturday and now you have more time, I am also including AS-4 and 5 in the test. So now you have 4 and 5 also a part of your test. So this test will happen on Saturday. Right? Okay, I'll now share a new link with you. Please be ready with the study material of AS-18. Let's begin with AS-18. Right, I'll be sharing a new link with you in a couple of minutes and then we proceed to AS-18.